Hello friends, this is rishyjee welcoming you in the new lecture. In this particular lecture, we are going to talk about the data structure and algorithm, why we should learn it and where it is getting used and how to learn this particular thing. All these three major questions we are going to address in this particular lecture. So whenever we are talking about why one should learn it, so we need to analyze why actually we are learning any of the subjects, be it your data structure or algorithm, why we are learning it before, because right now after like completing your graduation, you would be directly into the production and you would be working for few of the world's topmost companies, and in these companies you would be spending a lot of your time, be it your as a software development engineer or as a developer or as a machine learning engineer or as a database admin. All these job profiles you need to work throughout your life. Then before deciding your career, you need to understand why you are learning anything, right? So over here we are going to analyze why we are learning this particular subject, which is data structure and algorithm, and secondly where it is getting used, because if you would be working in the real world, then you need to understand where in the real world you are going to use it, and finally how to learn this subject. Now to address all these questions, we need to appreciate it why actually we are learning. This is our sole purpose, and secondly you would be able to connect this in the real world, how it is actually getting used in the real world. So all such questions would be addressed in this particular lecture. Now let's get started with why we are learning this particular subject. If you would ask me about what are the topmost subjects which are there in any of the software engineers career, then I would rate the knowledge of programming language and the knowledge of data structure and algorithm as one of the topmost requirement, because these two play a vital role in their entire career, be it software development engineer or data science engineer or even a database admin. For everyone, at least for basic, just to join any company, this is very much essential. So why one should learn it? First thing, to get into any of the one of the best companies in the world like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Apple, Microsoft, Google, all these big companies, if one wants to get into these companies, then they need to know the concept of data structure and algorithm, because to get into these companies, the interview round and the coding round is completely based on data structure and algorithm, because you need to compete with all your peer members, and for competing them, the first level would be based on data structure and algorithm only. They would be giving you some of the problem statements. You need to solve those problems with the help of your knowledge of data structure and algorithm. So if one want to get into these big companies, they need to know, or they should have a very strong background in the data structure and algorithm. This is first thing. Secondly, if one want to do his or her masters or higher education from world's one of the best institutions, then for that as well you need to know data structure and algorithm. Let us take an example of higher education in India. So if anyone as an engineer want to do their masters or higher education from India, then they need to appear for GATE in engineering field. So now in GATE, if you would analyze the syllabus and their previous year papers, then you can easily say that almost 25 to 30% of the syllabus or the questions would be primarily based on data structure and algorithm and programming language. So now you can understand how these big companies and the one of the top institutions of India are focusing on the knowledge of data structure and algorithm. This is second thing. Now when we talk about the third application, which would be in industry, So how it is getting used, how the knowledge of data such an algorithm is getting used in the real world, which is in industry. So when we take example of Google, suppose if we are typing anything or if we are searching anything on Google, let us take an example of, if one wants to know about corona, then if anyone is typing coronavirus in the Google search tab, then over there again you would be getting a lot of options like coronavirus, and then there would be some suggestions which is automatically suggested to you. This is first thing. Like if one wants to know how it is getting implemented from Google's end, then I would say this is one of the prime example of data structure and algorithm use case in the real world. Suppose if by any mistake, by mistake, or suppose if you are making some changes into this one like coronavirus, and then if you are typing in, then you can easily see the suggestions would automatically change according to the need. There would be different suggestions as if it was earlier. This is one of the use case of data structure and algorithm which is getting used by Google. Third thing would be, if I would say, if you are talking about like page ranking, like there would be millions and billions of data sets which would be present about any article. So how to prioritize these data, how to locate these data, how to give one of the best page result or search result to the end user, in this one as well data structure and algorithm and its optimization actually comes into the picture. This is really a classic example of use of data structure and algorithm by Google.
We even get questions about Google search itself, like how this whole thing actually works. Billions of times a day, whenever someone searches for lasagna, or resume writing tips, or how to swaddle a baby, or anything else, Google software locates all the potentially relevant results on the web, removes all the spam, and ranks them based on hundreds of factors like keywords, links, location, and freshness. Okay, good time to take a breath. This last part is about how we make changes to search, and it's important. So there you have it. Every time you click search, our algorithms are analyzing the meaning of the words in your search, matching them to the content on the web, understanding what content is most likely to be helpful and reliable, and then automatically putting it all together in a neatly organized page designed to get you the info you need. All in, 0.81 seconds? Wow. Anyone else ready for dinner?
If we want to talk about some other companies like Amazon, then in that case we can see Amazon is also using this data structure and algorithm concepts into their product searching. Suppose if you want to buy some books, and if you are typing the name of those books in the search tab, then the suggestions would be made to you, and before suggestions there would be automatically some names would come into the picture, that is autocomplete. And in over there as well, this particular understanding of these things comes into the picture. Now if we are talking about one of the best example of Facebook, then I'm pretty much sure that most of the people who are watching this video, they would be very much aware about how Facebook works, not actually in the back end, but how the naive user uses this idea would be there. Now let us understand how the friend suggestion works, because in friend suggestion, in Facebook's friend suggestion, actually data structure and algorithm plays a vital role over there. So suppose if I am if I want to be friend with someone, then how Facebook gives recommendation to the friends. Suppose if I want to be one of the friend to Prime Minister Modi, then in that case I won't be getting direct friend suggestion. I'll have to send him a friend request. Or if he is having a great, or I would say a lot of number of followers, then in that case there won't be any direct friend option. Over there what happens is, suppose if I am friend with one of the friend of him, then in that case I can get a friend solution from there as well. So this is how, and to implement this one, the data structure and algorithm again comes into the picture. So now as you can see, a lot of use cases where this data structure and algorithm is actually getting used. One of the best example would be your transportation system. Suppose if we are talking about this Ola, Uber or Lyft, so there are a lot of transportation companies which are there out there in market. And those companies, how, like suppose if we are searching for a cab, then in that case the Ola system or the Uber system, how it works is it will send the driver which is very much nearest to me, who can come very fast at my place wherever I am residing right now, such that the customer need not wait a lot of time for a longer period of time. First thing, and second thing, they should not take a lot of time to travel from the like I can say from driver's point of view as well. So this thing, again, to analyze this thing, to implement this in this application, in Ola or Uber application or any of the transportation system application, data such an algorithm again comes into the picture. Now you can feel why it is actually necessary, or one should be very much focusing to learn this particular thing, because almost you name a company, top-notch company, and there would be application which is based on direct application of data such an algorithm. That is why one should learn how and why one should learn this particular thing, that is data such an algorithm. So this is what we call as a like industry application. When we now if we are talking about in technology field, so there are lot of technologies which are directly like based on, or they are actually using the concept of data such an algorithm in their applications as well. Like if we are talking about few of the recent trends, which is cryptocurrency or crypto world or blockchain, or if we talk about the IoT or IoE, Internet of Extended Things, or if we are talking about big data, you name the new technologies, there would be application of data such an algorithm somewhere. Why is it so? Because how this works is, this basically focuses on the optimization. If we need to store something, then in that case memory optimization should be there. If we want to like use something, then in that case time optimization should be there. Suppose if you are searching anything over the Google or there, if the search result is coming in very like it is taking too much of time, then in that case most of the people will hesitate or won't be using the applications. Why is it so? They just want their result very rapidly. They just don't want to wait a lot. And that is why this understanding and uses of algorithm and data structure comes into the picture. And one should very much focus on covering or understanding these things. Now if we are taking an example of, suppose if you are watching this particular video, then in that case this video is getting streamed to you, right? So this in like how this video streaming is working is, it is same as the real world traffic signal, how it goes. In real world there would be traffic of people or traffic of vehicles. Over here there would be traffic of bits, the information bits. So how it is getting transmitted, at what rate it should be transmitted, how to route the packets which are getting sent from one place to other place, or one network to other network, how this routing works, how efficiently one can utilize this entire concept. This is again is like which is computer network. Over there as well, the application of algorithm and data structure comes into the picture, and this is very essential and very important over there as well. Now let us address the final question, which is how to learn this particular thing, that is how to learn data such an algorithm, and from which resources we should learn this. So to address this one, how to learn, I would say we are making a lot of content, a lot of videos primarily focusing on data such an algorithm only. We will be covering each and everything starting from very scratch. Unlike very theoretical concept, what we'll be doing is we'll be explaining the concepts, and then we'll be giving you the real world example, because this is very much necessary. Otherwise there is no use of learning this particular thing, because no one is going to use it theoretically. Almost everywhere it would be in the practical thing only. And if one know how to use this, how to understand this, and then how to apply this, then it would remain for longer period of time and you would be able to enjoy this. If there would be something and if you are not able to relate that particular concept, then you would be completely bored and you won't be learning this one. And being an engineer, I would say you should be able to give a logic or give a reason behind everything. You should be able to question everything. There should be a rational mindset for solving anything. Whenever you are learning anything, at that time you should keep your mind very open and always ask why you are learning this one, or how it is getting used, or where it is getting used. And when you are able to question each and everything, then you can actually solve a lot of things and you can memorize the things for a longer period of time. And there is nothing to memorize, actually it is completely practical, because all these things is actually getting implemented in the real world. And that is why to answer these all questions, we will be making a lot of videos or a series of lectures where we'll be like teaching you everything from scratch. Like there is no prerequisite required, as I've already told in my previous video as well. Whenever we are designing our course structure or anything, then in that case we completely keep one thing in mind, that if we are making this particular video, then it should be learned by anyone who is having nothing as a basic prerequisite. Anyone can learn. And then in the end, anyone, like you can completely or you can easily compete with one of the best developers or programmers or anyone in that particular field. And if you are really liking this content, then please do share this among your friends and family members, or those who are into this technological field and who are interested into this one. And if you are having any doubt, any concerns, or any suggestions for that matter, then you can definitely give us in the comment section below, and I would love to solve or love to hear it from you. That's it from this particular video. If you are really liking this content, then you can please contribute us on patreon.com/rishyjee. That's it. Thank you so much.